All right, for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to make a bar graph showing all this data. Actually, let me move this over. Oh, that works. So I went to the wolframalpha.com and I did a search for, as it says, top grossing films of 2012, and this is what came up. Avengers, Dark Knight, Hunger Games, blah, 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 and then a movie about walking. Very good. So to make the bar graph, it's very similar to the histogram, except two major things. The bars don't touch. That's the visual difference, really, and the theoretical difference is the type of data, which we'll talk about later. So in this bar graph, just like before, we'll have an x and a y-axis. The y-axis this time represents the movie titles themselves. So if abbreviations are okay, then we just put the abbreviation. So A for Avengers, D for Dark Knight, so on and so forth. I'll put HOB for Hobbits. So the x-axis represents the titles of the movies. The y-axis is going to represent, as it says there, the total U.S. box receipts. Notice we go from 330 million to 623 million. Now we could make the graph so that it starts at 300 million, but if we're going to do that, we have to tell the viewer that we're doing that, and we put that little lightning bolt in there. I'm going to be a little more fair, and we're just going to count by 100 million, so we'll need 7 tick marks. So this would be the total, as it says there, U.S. box office receipts but we should say in millions. And then we would have a title. This is pretty much the title, Top Grossing Films of 2012. You can write that in on your own. And now we just make boxes, and the height of the box is dictated by the total amounts for the gross office, post office receipts, or post office receipts. Sure, why not? And then just don't make the bars touch. So for Avengers, it goes up to 623 million. So we'll go up to 623.3. That looks good. Now I'm not going to bust out a ruler and be like, oh, you clearly want to 623.4 million. No. If you want, you can tell the viewer what it should be exactly and just put the number at the top of the bar. That'd be good visually. And then all we're going to do is just go around and make the other boxes. That looks good there. $408. Even. Then we had Skyfall. Oh geez. Oh my gosh. And lastly, Hobbits. Done. So that's a bar graph. Again, visually, the bars do not touch. Theoretically, it's the type of data that will dictate if it's a bar graph or a histogram. You'll also notice that the tick marks are in the middle of the bars, whereas for the histograms, it was at the edges of the bars.